Medicare IRMAA makes people that are a high earner based on 2 years ago's income, pay more for Medicare Parts B and D. So I have other videos that go in deep dive into Medicare IRMAA. This video is meant to answer all the questions that people ask me in the comments at themedicarefamily.com about how much can I take out of my 401k or my IRA before it triggers Medicare IRMAA? Can I sell my house, my farm, my business, some rental property without triggering Medicare IRMAA? So I'm going to go into that specifically in this video. Let's talk about briefly what is Medicare IRMAA. Income related monthly adjustment amount means based on your income from 2 years ago. If the government says you made too much money, you're going to pay more from Medicare Parts B and D for 1 year. So they recalculate it annually. If you're married, filing your taxes jointly. If you are both on Medicare, it will hit both of you if you trigger the Medicare IRMAA. So high earners pay more for not only B, but also D. And you're like, yeah, it's not going to be a problem because my drug plan is $0 a month. You'll pay this to the drug company. They send it to the insurance company. So even if you have a $0 plan or a $0 Medicare Advantage plan, if you get hit with IRMAA, they will collect this surcharge and send it to the government. The insurance companies don't get to keep it. So I have these brackets listed. There's 5 different brackets of Medicare IRMAA on my Social Security and Medicare cheat sheet. This is free. If you download it from our website, go to themedicarefamily.com. Top of the page, there's a tab that says resources. Click on that. Put in your email. You will get this immediately. It is free. Now, if you do download it from our website, then you'll be on our list and you will automatically get the updated numbers when they come out for the next year. So all these numbers change, and we generally send that out the first week of December when they're announced for the next year. So here are the brackets for 2025. For all of you that are getting ready to go on Medicare right now, that are hearing about IRMAA for the first time, this is the bracket. You might be able to zoom in on this, but it's single filer, married filing jointly, and married separately. So let's say because single filer, they're going to look at your taxes, get your tax returns out from 2 years ago. It's always looking back 2 years. And they're going to look at you every single year for the rest of your life, looking back 2 years to determine how much you pay for Medicare B and D. So $106,000. If you make $106,001, you're $1 over. You will trigger the first level of Medicare IRMAA, which means you pay an extra $74 a month. The average person will pay $185 for Part B in 2025. You get to pay more every month for 1 year. Again, if you're married, you both pay it. You also pay more for Part D. I can't read it, whatever that is up there. $7, $15, whatever. You can zoom in on the chart. Then you made more than $106,001, but you actually made $133,001. Boom, you're another level. 5 different levels. The highest level means you made over $500,000 as a single filer, $750,000 as a couple filing jointly. And then instead of paying $185 a month, you're paying almost $600 a month. So that comes as a big shock for most people. A lot of people say, whoa, I'm not going to pay an extra $6,000 a year for Medicare. I don't get more Medicare for it, right? I'll just continue to work another year, stay on my employer's health insurance for another year, and I'll retire in 2026. In 2026, they will do the same calculation. They'll look back at your income for 2 years. So they're going to look at 2024. And if you sold a farm in 2024, you took a ton of money out of your 401k, your IRA in 2024, it's going to hit you in 2026. The one thing that's good news about Medicare IRMAA is that they don't hold it against you if you used to work. So if I retired this year and they say, okay, how much money did you make 2 years ago? And I said, I made $200,000. Oh, Medicare IRMAA. They will send me the letter. They will start taking more out of my paycheck. But I will say, no. I retired and went on Medicare. That's an appealable event. I show proof that I retired. You have many different ways to show proof that you're retired. And now my income is going to be basically my pension, my Social Security. I'm going to be making about $40,000 a year. So they will take your IRMAA surcharge off. It takes a couple months. It's not fast. They'll refund that money because retiring is an appealable event. Taking too much out of your 401k, your IRA, your 403b, your 457. No, those are all taxable events. Don't waste your time appealing. You won't win. Selling your house and realizing a big capital gains, selling your business, selling farm or rentals. No use appealing. Those are not appealable. You will not win. You're going to get hit with IRMAA, which is the bad news. The good news is it is for 1 year. So you have to do your personal math, because everyone wants to ask me, how much can I take out of my IRA? Because I can't live on my Social Security alone. I need that money. I saved it my whole life for retirement. Now you're telling me I can't take it out? I'm not saying that. I'm saying you have to be mindful of Medicare IRMAA's brackets. So you have to look at, it's a moving target. So it's always looking back 2 years. We don't know what the bracket will be 2 years from now. So kind of look based on the other bracket and kind of guess. But you want to look and you say, okay, if we're going off 106,000, how much will my income be? If my income is 60,000, then I have 406,000 before I trigger IRMAA. Not 400, 46,000 before I trigger IRMAA. So I could take 46 safely out of my 401k or my IRA. But then what if you get a surprise, something else happens? Let's say you win the lottery and you win an extra $20,000. Typically a good thing, right? But that's taxable income, puts all of your adjusted gross income together, and boom, now it triggers IRMAA, and you wish you wouldn't have taken as much money out of your IRA, right? So it's kind of a moving target. You have to do your personal math. What is your adjusted gross income? Okay, it's called modified adjusted gross income. Don't be freaked out by that additional acronym. Basically, it's just your adjusted gross income. The modified means they add in, if you have muni bonds. Some retirees have tax-free muni bonds. They're not taxable, but they calculate what you earned on that to help drive up IRMAA, which seems really evil, right? But so in general, for most people that don't have muni bonds, just look at your tax return from 2 years ago, the line that says adjusted gross income. So look at that and then try to figure out what the brackets are going to be. Not easy to do. So here we go. Single filer this year, 106,000, couple 212. It's going to go up a little bit every year. So is it going to be 110,000 next year? Is it going to be 112? You know, you're trying to guess. If you want to stay under these levels, you're definitely safe. IRMAA future increases. Like I said, it's just a guess how much IRMAA is going to go up. The one thing I can tell you with certainty is it will go up, but it's not simple. Like Social Security cost of living increases, the COLAs we get are directly tied to inflation. We know exactly how they measure it. They look at a certain bucket of goods in July, August, September of this year versus last year. And if the bucket of goods costs more, that's how much we get in our Social Security increase, which is right around 2% on average, 1 to 3%. So we know that. IRMAA is different. So it does take into consideration Medicare premium Part B increases. It does take regular inflation into effect, and it also takes other policy changes in there. So yeah, it's not an easy target to hit. So let's just look at historical changes to the Medicare IRMAA for a couple married filing jointly. In 2020, $174,000 before it triggered. It triggered at $174,001. In 2025, it triggers at $212,001. So you see how it went up a little bit. It went up $2,000, $3,000, $12,000, $6,000. It's kind of all over the board. You can appeal a Medicare IRMAA surcharge if you get that dreaded determination. You can't appeal it till you get it. A lot of people want to get ahead of this. I love you because I'm one of those people too. No, you got to wait till you get the letter. Then you can appeal it. There'll be directions on the determination letter to go to Google, get the Social Security form SSA-44. That will detail how to appeal and what things are appealable. Marriage, divorce, the most common being that you retired. You will not see a box on there to appeal a 401k withdrawal because you took too much money out. You're going to pay Medicare IRMAA if you took too much out. So things that are not appealable: sale of your house. A lot of people inherit a house when their parents die. So now I have an extra house. I don't want it. I don't want the hassle of renting it, so I'm going to sell it. The fact that I inherited it wasn't taxable, but once I sell it, now we have a taxable event. Now, if it was my house I sold, I would have a hefty tax exemption. $250,000 exemption if I'm single, $500,000 if we're a couple. I would have to have lived in it 2 of the past 5 years. So when I inherit a house from my parents, I don't get any exemption. I get stepped up basis, a little bit too complicated for this video, but just know that you inherit the house. That's not taxable. That's not IRMAA triggering. When you sell it, the gain, the profit is going to trigger, or it could trigger IRMAA. It's going to create taxes for you. But when you do sell a house, you can deduct your expenses, all your selling expenses. You can deduct improvements to the property. So if it's actually your primary residence, there's some wiggle room there. It's when you're inheriting it, or like we get divorced. Now we each have our own house, and now I marry a new guy. Now we each have a house. We don't need two houses. So I rent the house. That can be a mistake, because if I don't live in it 2 of the past 5 years, I give up the exemption. So something hopefully your divorce attorney is warning you about. A lot of people say, well, I'm good because I'm going to sell this house and I know I'm going to have a large gain, because when I bought it, it was $100,000. Now it's worth $1 million. So I'm going to be taxed on the $900,000 of gain. But I'm not worried, because I'm going to buy another house. That is no longer the law, that you can just roll it over into a new house. They changed that law in 1997. So if I sell a house and I realize the gain, it's taxable. And then I can buy a new house. Buying the new house does not allow me to avoid this. People go, are you sure? I am sure. And you have Google, you can check it out too. Not going to go into 1031 exchanges if you're selling a business, like kind, where you could actually roll this over on an investment property and avoid the taxes. So things that trigger IRMAA that are not appealable: required minimum distributions. If you're 73 or older, the government forces you to start taking money out of your tax-deferred accounts, your IRA, your 401k. You're like, I don't need it. Well, they're going to make you take it out so they can tax it, and then you can reinvest it. But they're going to get their tax money. And when you take it out, that's income that could trigger Medicare IRMAA. Capital gains from selling your investments, from selling your stocks, your mutual funds, Bitcoin, real estate. That's all going to be capital gains, more taxes, possibly triggering IRMAA. And a Roth conversion. A lot of people think, oh, a Roth conversion saves me money. It can save you money down the road. But when you take an IRA and you move it to a Roth IRA, you got to pay taxes first. So the Roth conversion can possibly trigger Medicare IRMAA. That's something that a lot of financial planners are not aware of, and they're therefore not trying to help you strategize around. More things that are not appealable: large business profits, self-employment income. If you had a really strong year, you got a lot of bonuses, you had a lot of commissions, lottery winnings, gamblings, legal settlements. Not all settlements are taxable. Another whole video, but some settlements definitely are taxable and can drive up IRMAA. Payout from your divorce, a qualified domestic relations order. I got divorced. In the divorce, we share my husband's pension, so I'm supposed to get half of his pension. That's what a quadro is, and that can be taxable to me. Inheritance of an IRA or a 401k. Also really complicated topics. But if I inherit an IRA from my parents, they died and they have money in their IRA, their 401k, their health savings account, that money's all just taxable to me. It was tax deferred to them, but not to me as a kid. Now, if my spouse dies and I inherit an IRA, a 401k, an HSA from my spouse, there are more beneficial rules so that I can move that into my own IRA or my own HSA and not have to pay taxes on it. Again, you're going to need a financial planner that understands Medicare IRMAA. Most of them do not. If you do have a financial planner that doesn't understand it, or an accountant, tell them to go buy my book. It's on Amazon. It's #1 bestseller in Medicare and Medicaid. Type in Medicare Mama. You don't have to memorize the whole long title, Medicare Mama's Guide to Medicare and Social Security Retirement. 360-page workbook that will help your financial planner, your accountant, or you, if you want to gut it out, figure out how Medicare IRMAA works in more detail with your specific financial details, and give you strategies to avoid having to pay more for Medicare Parts B and D for 1 year. If you learned something, I'm sure you were like shocked that this even exists. Hit the follow button, subscribe, I'd appreciate it. If you like this video, you might really like this video. Check it out. And we'd appreciate if you subscribe to our channel so you never miss a great video. We put out one every week. Check in the description below this video for a link to our cheat sheet on Social Security and Medicare. And you can also give us a comment if you have a specific question always feel free to call us or email us at the Medicare Family.